Russia batters Ukraine's energy grid with drone and missile strikes, causing blackouts, officials say.
Latvian police working with EU agencies have busted a major internet fraud network that scammed thousands across Europe.
A film festival dedicated to new Jewish films has been cancelled in Sweden after movie theaters refused to host the event. Hours before Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's White House meeting to make a strong case for more American-made long-range missiles, Ukrainian authorities said that Russian attacks on energy facilities caused blackouts across the country. Some 8 Ukrainian regions experienced blackouts after the barrage, Ukraine's national energy operator said. According to Zelensky, Russia fired more than 300 drones and 37 missiles at Ukraine overnight, conducting repeated strikes on the same target to hit emergency crews and engineers working to repair the grid. The Russian attack is the latest heavy bombardment on Ukraine's power grid and comes just as Zelensky pushes for U.S. missiles capable of penetrating deeper into Russia. Ukraine is looking to hit back by targeting oil refineries and related infrastructure crucial for Russia's economy and war efforts if granted by Washington.
The European Commission has cautiously welcomed the announcement of a summit between the American and Russian presidents to find a solution to the war in Ukraine. The meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin could take place within 2 weeks in Budapest, although no further details are available at the moment.
In relation to what I want to convey from the European Commission point of view and from President von der Leyen's point of view, first to repeat that any meeting that moves forward the process of achieving a just and lasting peace for Ukraine is welcome.
The location of the meeting is politically significant. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán is seen as close to Donald Trump as well as to Vladimir Putin. Furthermore, Viktor Orbán is at odds with the European Union regarding its stance on the war in Ukraine.
The European Commission has called on Israel to lift restrictions on the delivery of aid to Gaza 1 week after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas entered into force. The agreement, brokered by US President Donald Trump, stipulates that Israel must grant passage to 608 trucks daily. So far, Israel has limited the flow of aid in breach of the agreement, with authorities only allowing the entry of half the agreed-upon amount daily. A spokesperson for the Commission says there are many bureaucratic obstacles hampering NGOs' ability to distribute aid.
We need to get more food in. Just to illustrate, if you ask about numbers, we cooperate, for example, with World Food Programme, a UN partner. World Food Programme has about 170,000 of tons of food ready to be delivered to Gaza, and this would be enough for 3 months for all the population of Gaza to have nutrition.
The dire humanitarian crisis continues to persist in Gaza. The Strip is still facing acute shortages of critical basic necessities like food, medicine, water and fuel. The European Commission has also urged Israeli authorities to open all crossing points into Gaza. It noted that of the 4 main ones, only 2 are currently open.
World leaders gathered in Rome on Thursday to attend the World Food Day global ceremony that also marked the 80th anniversary of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. Speaking mainly in Spanish, Pope Leo urged the international community not to look the other way in the fight against global hunger, describing the persistence of the problem as a collective failure.
Today, we can no longer delude ourselves by thinking that the consequences of our failures impact only those who are hidden out of sight. The hungry faces of so many who still suffer challenge us and invite us to re-examine our lifestyles, our priorities, and our overall way of living in today's world. Los escenarios de los conflictos actuales han hecho resurgir el uso de los alimentos como arma de guerra. contradiciendo todo el trabajo de sensibilización llevado adelante por la FAO durante estas 8 décadas.
In the face of growing challenges and recent cuts in US aid, moving closer to the zero hunger goal is becoming increasingly difficult.
There are multiple crises around the world that are actually undermining our drive towards zero hunger. We know from our figures that maybe somewhere around 700 million people still live in hunger. So in a way, it is a celebration, but also a day to reflect and remember and to maybe redouble our efforts to driving towards zero hunger.
The presence here today of a Pope Leo and high-level institutional figures, including Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and several FAO ambassadors, highlights how even after 80 years, the organization's role in fighting hunger, advancing food security and supporting crisis-hit countries remains as crucial and pressing as ever. Giorgia Orlandi for Euronews in Rome.
Latvian police working with EU agencies have busted a major internet fraud network that scammed thousands across Europe, Europol said on Friday. 7 suspects were arrested on October the 10th in a joint operation involving police from Austria, Estonia and Latvia. The criminal ring is accused of scamming victims out of nearly 5 million euros in thousands of separate cases, mostly in Latvia and Austria. During the raids, police seized 1,200 SIM box devices and 40,000 SIM cards. Europol added that the network was also used to facilitate other crimes like migrant smuggling and extortion.
China presents a daily threat to UK security, the head of the country's domestic intelligence agency, Ken McCallum, said. His statement comes after a spy case against 2 men charged with spying for Beijing collapsed before they were to stand trial. The case failed after government officials refused to testify under oath that China posed a threat to national security.
The UK-China relationship is, by its nature, complex, but MI5's role is not. We detect and deal robustly with activity threatening UK national security.
Do we see actors acting on behalf of the Chinese state engaging in activity that threatens UK national security? Yes, of course.
The government, opposition, politicians and prosecutors have traded blame over the failed criminal case as the UK tries to balance between challenging and engaging with the Asian superpower. The Labour Party government has tried cautiously to reset ties with Beijing, which have been tense over years of spying allegations, human rights concerns, and China's support of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
A planned film festival dedicated to new Jewish films has been cancelled in Malmö, Sweden's third largest city, after organizers were unable to secure a venue following safety concerns. According to organizers of the Jewish International Film Festival, both commercial movie theater owners and the non-profit Panorama Cinema agreed not to host the event.
Ja, är judar och också gillar judisk kultur och då tyckte vi att det var naturligt och så firar ju Sverige också att vi har haft judar här i 250 år.
Ett par stycken har ju angett säkerhetsskäl. Man är orolig att det ska bli något ska hända helt enkelt.
The Swedish government described the situation as alarming and said it has put in place several efforts to increase security for Jewish organizations, institutions and events. The film festival had been planned as part of a series of events to celebrate the Jewish minority's 250th anniversary in Sweden this year.
The car of Sigfrido Ranucci, journalist and host of the Rai TV program called Report, exploded and was completely engulfed in flames in Campo Ascolano on the outskirts of Rome on Thursday evening. The news was confirmed by the journalist himself, who has lived under police protection for years following repeated threats received due to his investigative work. Ranucci received solidarity from across the Italian political spectrum. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni issued a statement saying freedom and independence of information are indispensable values of democracies which Italy will continue to defend. And according to Democratic Party Secretary Elish Lane, intimidation of investigative journalism cannot be tolerated. Rome's Mayor Roberto Gualtieri also mentioned that the violent and unacceptable act represents an attack on press freedom and the right to be informed. Anti-mafia prosecutors in Rome are investigating damage aggravated by a mafia-related method, pending initial reports from lower.
Ace Frehley, the founding member of rock band Kiss and original lead guitarist when they started in 1973, has died. Frehley passed away peacefully, surrounded by his family in Morristown, New Jersey, his agent said. He was aged 74. A statement from the rocker's family said they were completely devastated and heartbroken, and that they would cherish all of his finest memories and celebrate his strengths and kindness. Frehley's rock band Kiss was hugely popular in the 1970s and 1980s, with hits like Rock and Roll All Night, I Was Made for Loving You, and Detroit Rock City. Earlier this year, the legendary guitarist cancelled part of his 2025 solo tour due to medical issues that were confirmed as a fall he suffered this year. Frehley is survived by his wife and daughter.